In the history of horror gaming, 4 years is usually just enough time to develop one good game, maybe two if you rush it. But in that same short window, Poppy Playtime didn't just release a game, it built an empire. It took the torch from Five Nights at Freddy's, doused it in gasoline, and lit a fire that burned through YouTube, merchandise shelves, and the nightmares of an entire generation. But how? How did a seemingly simple indie project about a blue toy monster outpace billion-dollar studios? The answer isn't just jump scares. It's about how mob entertainment weaponized nostalgia, mastered the algorithm, and understood something fundamental about fear that everyone else forgot. Today, we are looking at the anatomy of a takeover. Let's rewind to 2021. The mascot horror genre was stagnant. We were drowning in clones that misunderstood why F&AF worked. They thought it was just about scary animatronics. Then came Poppy Playtime. The genius of Chapter 1 wasn't Huggy Wuggy. It was the GrabPack. Most horror games make you helpless. You run, you hide, you die. Poppy gave you hands. It gave you agency. By making the gameplay a physics-based puzzle, they forced you to interact with the world, not just run from it. This created a tactile connection to the horror. You weren't just watching a factory, you were touching it. And then they introduced the chase. That vent scene in Chapter 1 isn't just a chase sequence, it is a masterclass in claustrophobic tension. It proved that you don't need a complex story to scare people. You just need a blue monster that squeezes into spaces he shouldn't fit. But a good mechanic only lasts an hour. To build a franchise in 4 years, you need obsession. Mob Entertainment didn't just tell a story, they fragmented it. They understood the mat-pad effect. If you leave gaps in the story, the community will fill them for you. The VHS tapes weren't lazy exposition, they were breadcrumbs. The Bigger Bodies Initiative, the orphans, the experiments. It turned the game into a crime scene investigation. Fans weren't just players, they were detectives. This created a self-sustaining hype cycle. Every teaser trailer was analyzed frame by frame. The alternating reality games, ARGs, kept the conversation alive between chapters. While AAA studios went silent for years, Poppy stayed in our feeds every single week, blurring the line between a game and a living, breathing, digital urban legend. Then came the pivot. If Chapter 1 was a tech demo, Chapter 3, Deep Sleep, was a blockbuster film. In less than 3 years, we watched the visuals leap from standard indie Unity assets to near photorealistic environments. The introduction of Catnap and the smiling critters wasn't just scary, it was culturally significant. It critiqued the pharmaceutical industry, religion, and corporate greed, wrapping it all in a disturbing, lavender-scented package. They managed to scale the horror. Huggy was physical, primal fear. Mommy Longlegs was psychological control. Catnap was religious terror. They didn't repeat the same trick. They evolved the flavor of fear with every release. That is how you survive. You don't just get bigger, you get deeper. So, is it the best horror franchise? That's subjective. But is it the most effective? Absolutely. In 4 years, Poppy Playtime proved that you don't need a 40-hour campaign to capture the world. You need a distinct aesthetic, a mechanic that feels good, and a mystery that feels real. They turned a toy factory into a tomb, and we can't stop visiting. If you think Poppy Playtime deserves the crown, hit that like button. If you think another game did it better, fight me in the comments. Thanks for watching, and stay safe in the vents.